Hi everyone, I am Anju. Welcome to my channel Excel Made Easy. Today we will be talking about writing formula in Excel because many a times when you are using cell references in Excel formula, there might be certain issues you may not get a desired result. So let's see how we can write a good formula in Excel. So here we are going to start with some Excel sheet where we are writing the formula for quarterly data calculation, and at the end we will be doing the total and average for the whole year. So I'm using one cell for calculating sales revenue, and there are units sold which are already given. There is a product price, there is a product cost which is present over here, and it is seen that product price and the cost remains same throughout the quarters. So in every quarter, the same price will be used. So I am selecting the cell for sales revenue, the quarter one, and the units sold are just above that. So you know that every formula has to start with an equal to sign or a plus sign. So I am writing equal to, and this is the cell reference which I am clicking for quarter one units sold. Then both are to be multiplied. So I use multiply symbol and then the product price. So this is the formula for calculating sales revenue, and this is for quarter one. So I press enter and we can notice the result coming in that particular cell. Now I need the same result, same, not the result, but same formula for quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four sales revenue calculation also. So you know that in Excel we can easily drag the formula to fill it in rest of the cells, but what is happening here? We are not getting the desired result. Now, what is the reason for this? See, when we wrote the formula originally in B5 cell, so there the formula was B4 into B14. So when I'm copying it into the next cell, it is automatically changing to C4 into C14. You can notice that there is no price given in C14. So that is why you get to see a 0 here. Now what is happening in quarter 3? The formula has become D4 into D14, and in E, that is quarter 4, the formula has become E4 into E14. Now what is the reason for this? Because Excel treats the cell references which are used in your formula in certain way. So we must be understanding the way we should write the cell references in a formula so that the formula evaluates correctly. So let us see how we could have done it. Understand the situation here that the product units sold are relatively changing for every quarter, and in respective cell the values are given there. But should the product price also change when the formula is being copied? We don't want that to change. So what we do, there is another way of writing the cell addresses. So B4 is for units sold. That will be written as it is because we are expecting that to change for every quarter. This kind of a cell reference is called as a relative reference. Relative to the position of copy paste, this cell reference will also change. But we don't want that to happen for product price. So we are going to write product price in a different way where the column part will be preceded with a dollar as well as the row part will be preceded with a dollar. This way of writing the cell address is called as the absolute cell referencing. So what happens when we write a cell reference like this? Let us have a look at that. I have updated the formula for quarter one, and now I am filling it again in rest of the quarters. We can see the respective results coming in this time. The reason is when we select quarter two cell, we can easily notice B4 is changing to C4 as usual because it is still used as a relative reference. But what has happened to B14? B14 remains constant. So even in every quarter, you will notice the unit sold cell is changing relatively, but the price of the product is not changing. So this type of a cell address, that is absolute cell address, you could have also changed it by using function F4 shortcut key. So you have to click onto the cell address in the formula bar. Then using the function key F4, you will notice multiple ways of writing a cell address. So we have just talked about the two types of cell addresses, that is relative, and the second one we talked about as the absolute. But there are two more ways of writing a cell address, which are called as mixed cell address. That means one of the part of the cell address, either a row or a column, can be fixed and the second part can be kept as relative. So that depends in which direction you are going to drag the formula. The copy paste will happen in a certain direction. So accordingly, you will fix a particular range. So there are different ways of writing the cell address. I will show you that with a table here. If you can notice, these are the different ways of writing a cell address. Now, if you write a formula, the center cell specifies the way you are writing it in the formula originally. So if you are writing the formula as C5 and copy it onto the right hand side column, the formula will relatively change to D5. Similarly, if you are copying it onto the left hand side column, the formula will change to B5. Then if you are copying it in the upper cell, it will become C4, and in the lower cell, it will become C6. Why? Because when you are vertically copying, the row numbers are getting changed. Because vertically, when you are changing it, the row numbers will be taken up differently. But when you're copying it left or right, there the columns are changing. So the columns will change and the row number remains the same here. Now, this was when the relative referencing was used. What happens when I use $C$5, which is prefixing the dollar with both parts of this column and the row. So here, what happens? This cell address is considered as a constant, and when I copy it in any of the direction, this remains same. It does not change at all. Now we come to the two other ways of writing a cell address in the formula. That means here we are using a dollar before column and no dollar before row. So $C5 is one of the way of writing a formula. And here what happens, since there is a dollar before the column name, you can notice when you copy it in any of the direction, C remains C, it does not change. But there is no dollar with the row part. So row changes when vertical copying is happening. So you can notice when vertically the formula will be copied, row numbers will change. Otherwise, in horizontal, row number remains as it is. And this is the reverse here in the fourth case, where we are using the formula as $5. So here the row part is fixed. It means row remains constant in whichever direction you can copy the formula. So what happens when we copy it left and right? The column does not have a dollar, so it means it will change. So left hand side becomes $5, right hand side becomes D$5. When you copy it down, because down is for the row part, it does not change even on the upper side of this. This also does not change because the row is fixed here. So these are the ways how you could have written a cell address in the formula. So keeping this in mind, so I can write the cost of sales formula also equal to units sold multiplied by product cost. Now we already know that product cost is to remain constant. So what we are doing, we are using function key F4 to make it absolute cell reference. Now I press enter, and then we can copy this for rest of the quarters. And now we can notice the appropriate results comes in. Gross margin is the difference of the two. So when I use equal to sales revenue, sell minus cost of sale, this is our gross margin. And you will notice that these values are different for every quarter. So they should change whenever we are copying the formula in the respective quarters. So no dollar is required in any of the cell reference. And we can just press enter and we can fill it for rest of the quarters, right? So this is how, when you're writing the formula, you must understand that which part of the cell address is required to be constant or which is to be relative. Maybe the whole cell reference is required to be relative or absolute. So accordingly, the use of dollar will be done. Now, when I am writing this product price and product cost, we know that these are the constant values. Wherever I write a formula, this will be used as it is. That means B14 for the product price and B15 for the product cost. So this has to remain same whether you use the formula in the same worksheet or maybe in another worksheet. So what will happen that every time you have to, refer to this particular location, the cell reference. Instead of this, we have a better way of using these constant values. What we could have done, since their names are already written over here, what we do, we select both. That means the name of the figure and the figure also. So we are selecting the two, and then in the formula tab, we have a section which is for defining the names for the cells. A cell has a name already with the column name and the row numbers combined, but we can give the custom name also. So this is a place where we can define the names. So one is that you could have given your own names also to the particular cells, but since we have names already written here, I'm going to utilize the same for this. So create from selection is the option that I'm going to use. And where are the names that are in left columns? So Excel has identified that there is a text in the left-hand side column, so that will be utilized for the names. And one thing you must take care while defining these kind of names, there should not be a space in the name. If there is a space, then that can be combined with an underscore. So you will notice that I have already written the names without a space. So left column is a name. We click on OK, and these names are created. How do you know that these are created? You can see them by going to the name manager, and you can notice that these two are created. Values are also assigned, and to which cell it refers. So currently product cost is selected, which is 125 right now. It refers to sales analysis sheet B15 cell address, and it is used as an absolute cell address. So this is how you can see a name getting created. What will be the advantage of using it? You don't have to remember the cell address every time. You can simply write product cost and product price for the formula. So I'll just show you one of the example writing this. Suppose somewhere I'm going to write a formula and I say units sold multiplied by product price and product cost are also coming here. And you can notice that they are referred as the cell name. So I can choose product price, and that is how it can be done. So you can directly refer to this as a name rather than writing the cell address, which are actually difficult to remember. So I hope these names are also going to help you in writing the formula. And the scope of these names is the whole workbook. It means you can use this in another sheet also. So right now I was doing it in the sales analysis sheet. Let's say I switch to annual report, and here I write equal to, let's say, some value, 1000 is the unit sold multiplied by product price, and that is also coming here. Using tab to select this, and you can notice this formula is created. So I don't have to switch between the sheet to access this value every time. Do you face any problem while writing the formula? Do write in the comment. See you in the next video.